Imagine if you had no control. No control over a situation that runs your life. Now imagine how hard it is to recognize that you have a problem. That is the life of a gambler. Though many of us have never experienced a gambling addiction, we may know someone with a gambling problem and not be able to recognize the signs and dangers associated with gambling. While I myself do not have a gambling problem, I did have a family member who did, and I was able to see the dangers and how it can control one's life. My uncle fought with a gambling addiction, and while my family never thought it was a problem, we all sat back and watched it slowly take over his life. My uncle's gambling addiction led to him losing his job, losing money, and also led to him and my aunt's divorce. Seeing this firsthand for myself made me realize that gambling can cause damage and is a big problem. Everyone should be aware of the dangers that gambling can cause. The dangers of gambling are endless. First, gambling can lead to high rates of suicide. Second, gambling can cause health problems. And third, gambling can lead to financial troubles. Not only is gambling an addiction, it can lead to high rates of suicide attempts. Suicide is very common among people with gambling problems. While not every gambling addict attempts suicide, but it is very common among those with gambling problems. According to the National Council on Problem Gambling, citing various sources, reports that 1 in 5 pathological gamblers attempt suicide, a rate higher than any other addictive disorder. A survey of nearly 200 gamblers, anonymous members in Illinois found that 66% had contemplated suicide, 79% had wanted to die, 45% had a definite plan to kill themselves, and 16% had actually attempted suicide. A University of California, San Diego sociologist found that visitors to and residents of gaming communities experience significantly elevated suicide levels. Areas surrounding casinos have increased suicide rates. According to Dr. David Phillips, Las Vegas displays the highest levels of suicide in the nation, both for residents of Las Vegas and for visitors to that setting. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, Phillips found that abnormally high suicide levels for visitors and residents appeared only after gambling casinos were opened. And in Gulfport, Mississippi, suicides increased by 213%, went from 24 to 75 in the first 2 years after casinos arrived. Health risks are very common among those with gambling problems. Gambling can lead to a variety of different health effects. According to the Australian Medical Association, problem gamblers experience high levels of comorbid mental health disorders and substance abuse, and they or their families may experience stress-related physical and psychological effects. Researchers found that among more than 43,000 Americans in a national survey, problem gamblers had a higher rate of liver disease, high blood pressure, high heart rate, and anemia. Problem gamblers may experience psychological illnesses caused by gambling addiction. Not only does gambling affect your health, but it can also affect your wallet. Problem gamblers can experience financial troubles, and gambling can lead to extremely tough financial situations. The average debt generated by a man who is addicted to gambling in the U.S. is between $55,000 and $90,000. Women gamblers average $15,000 in debt. Experts outside the gaming industry estimate that people with gambling addictions account for about 5% of all players, but 25% of casino games and state lottery profits. From 1974 to 1994, the amount of money Americans legally wagered has risen 2,800%. Hopefully I explained to you the risk of gambling and what can come from gambling. First, gambling can lead to high rates of suicide. Second, gambling can cause health problems. And third, gambling can lead to financial troubles. Everyone should be aware of the dangers that gambling can cause. Gambling problems are endless. They can affect you in various ways. This is a problem that can be helped with a modest solution. Recognizing and helping people with gambling problem can help cut the rate of gamblers down. Realizing that gambling can lead to so many problems and seeing the stats that show what this can do, we need to recognize the problem and intervene with a solution that will cut down gambling.